Hi, I'm Emily, a contributing blogger at secondarysolutionsblog.com, and earlier this week I gave a full tutorial on how to use all the bells and whistles of Prezi to make really impressive classroom presentations for back to school night or for important lectures. But I'm also a full-time classroom teacher, and so I know that we don't have time to necessarily create a Prezi from scratch for every lesson. So today I'm going to show you how I can make a Prezi from start to finish that will take up the whole class period, and I can make it in less than 15 minutes. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions or comments, please visit us at secondarysolutionsblog.com. Thanks. Let's see how quickly I can make a Prezi for my class. In full disclosure, I'm going to make a Prezi about a Langston Hughes poem, Dream Deferred, which I have taught many times, and I already have my YouTube clips pre-screened from previous years that I just saved to my YouTube. So I'll start the clock and we'll see how quickly I can make a Prezi for my class. So I click New Prezi. I'm going to work from a template today because I want to make sure that I get this done before class starts. There are a lot of great templates. I like to pick one sort of related to the theme. If there was one that looked like a saxophone or a cityscape or something like that, I'd definitely pick it since this is a Harlem Renaissance poem. But there's not anything like that for now, and so I'm going to pick just this big idea. I like this one. I'm going to click Use Template, and I'm going to be all set up here to get started. So I'm going to start by clicking to add my title, and I'm going to call it A Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. And I'm going to go to my first bubble here. The pre-made path goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I'm going to zoom into this one here. And my first idea that I want to talk to my students about is the fact that this is part of the literature of the Harlem Renaissance. And I have a piece in my literature collection that has some jigsaw reading for the Harlem Renaissance. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put here that they're going to do the jigsaw reading, and then what it entails is I'm going to give each row a different part of it to read, and then they'll meet with people who have the other parts. They'll all take notes on all the parts, and then we'll have a class discussion about them. And so the jigsaw reading that I have covers a few different topics, and so I'm going to insert some visuals about those topics as discussion prompts. So the first one here, I'm going to insert an image. And I'm going to insert, let's see, the first section I have here is the Great Migration. And so I'm going to look and see, there are a lot of great visuals for that. I'm going to just pick something here. Let's see. Might take you just a second to decide what it is that you're interested in showing. I'll do this one. Looks like they're in a city. So I click Insert. It's going to take a second to process here. And just for now, I'm going to leave this excuse me, over here. And then I'm going to insert my next section, which is going to be about the academic writing of the Harlem Renaissance. And there's a little part about Fawcett, so I'm going to Google this, Google Images. That's exactly what their reading is going to be about, so I'm going to pick this image. There is confusion. And then, let's The next section of their reading is about jazz of the Harlem Renaissance. And so hopefully I'll come up with a picture of the Cotton Club or something. Oh, there it is. So I'll go ahead and insert that. And this is all just background context to the poem that we're going to be reading. And then the last one is about literature of the Harlem Renaissance, poetry, and fiction and nonfiction. Harlem Renaissance. And so let's see what kind of pictures I've got here. I like that one. So now I have a little visual to prompt the discussion after they've read the different parts of this. And then I want to have a YouTube video that I already have marked for myself. It's just got some of the sounds and visual art pieces from the Harlem Renaissance, because I think it's important for them to kind of hear what this movement was all about. So I'm going to put that in here for now. And now I'm going to nest my pictures within this word jigsaw reading so that they come up in the right order. But before I nest them, I need to edit my path and make sure that they're all on the path. So I'm going to start by having moving this 3 to my words here. Let's see, and then the 4, I'm going to start here. The 5, and notice I'm just clicking this little plus sign and adding a new mark to my path here. Go into the Cotton Club. From that plus sign, I'm going to drag it over to the literature, and then the final plus sign I'm going to put on my YouTube video here. And then I'm going to click that I'm done editing my path for a second. And I'm going to shrink some things in here. So this first one I will put in the G for jigsaw. This next one I'll put inside the A. And I just do this, I don't know, kind of as a fun little thing. It doesn't actually add necessarily any content to my presentation. I just like it. I'll put this one in the E here. Did I lose it? Oh no, it's there. And then the literature image I will put in the final G. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and zoom out, and I'll center my YouTube video, and I will move on to my next part of my path. So the next thing I want to talk about with students, so let's go ahead and zoom into idea 2, is I want to talk about the life of Langston Hughes as it relates to the poem that we're going to be reading and the Harlem Renaissance, kind of bringing them together. And I have a different YouTube video that goes through Langston Hughes and the Harlem Renaissance here. So I'm just going to put that in there. And we'll usually read the short biography that's in our literature book also. Oops, where'd my YouTube video go? Okay, here it is. And I'll center it here. I want to edit my path real quick. I want to add another part right here so that Langston Hughes comes up before my video comes up, and then I want my video, so I just drag that little plus sign to my video. Okay, so I have the author done, and now I want to move on to the next bubble that I have here. And so I'm going to go to my next part of my path, and here I want to insert the actual poem, and I have this poem on a PDF on my computer here. So I'm going to insert the poem. The students will have it in their books in front of them, but I like to have it on my overhead here. And as you can see, my PDF has a lot of white space that it doesn't really need, so I'm going to go to crop image. I'm going to crop it down so that I can make it as big as possible without wasting too much white space here. Once I have the lines, I'm just going to push enter and it'll crop it down for me. And then I can make it a little bigger. I think I've somehow made it crooked, and so I'll straighten it out. I usually have this on my board, excuse me, projected on my board, and then I have whiteboard markers that I can just write on the poem, underline things as we read it and talk about it. And then I can erase it before I go on to the next part of the Prezi image. So there's my poem. To get to my next part of my path, I'm going to click the next part of my path here, which is idea 4. And this is where we're going to talk about literary devices. And for literary devices, I want to talk about questioning, the use of simile, the use of imagery, and I want to connect with summer reading, which my students read A Raisin in the Sun, and so there are a lot of connections here. This one I'm just going to leave how it is. I'm not going to insert any media yet. I'm actually going to do that with students. We're going to look at some of the images and the parts of the simile and definitions of simile and things like that. We're actually going to add it as I'm interacting with the students in this part of the Prezi. So I'm going to go to my final big picture, and then the last thing here is going to be their ticket out of class. And this is just something I do, I think kind of a common strategy. Students have to do something before they can leave today, and then after they're finished with this, they work on their homework, their vocabulary or grammar, whatever it is. So I'm going to have them read Dreams by Langston Hughes, and they're going to answer the following question in their journals or in their interactive journals with me. They are going to write, or they're going to answer a question about how the images reveal the central message of the poem. What is the central message? So that's it. They're just going to write this. They know they gotta write it. They need to write it in. So that's it. They're just going to answer that one question. They already know kind of the outline of our journals. They have to be in complete sentences. They have to be thoughtful answers. I talked to them about how to answer the whatever. And because this poem has a really nice YouTube video where Langston Hughes himself reads the poem, I'm going to play that for them one time before they get started on their interactive journals here. So I want to add that to my path. Edit path. I want to add this. And then I want to go all the way home and add the current view also to the end. And I'm done. I'm ready for a class period of talking about A Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. Just as an overview for how I'm going to use this Prezi in my freshman English class, I'll have the whole thing up at the beginning of class to let the students know what we're going to be talking about for the day. And then I'm going to click through it. We'll start by talking about the Harlem Renaissance, and I will give them some jigsaw reading to do and then to take notes on and to discuss in a small group. Then we'll discuss out for the big class about the Great Migration, and then the academics of the Harlem Renaissance, the social activism, talk about jazz, and then we'll talk about the literature of the Harlem Renaissance. Then I'll show this YouTube video that has a lot of the different sounds and sights of the Harlem Renaissance. Then we'll talk a little bit about Langston Hughes. I'll give a little background. They'll probably read the short biography in the book, and then we'll watch this short video clip. Then we'll move on to the actual poem, and I'll project this directly onto my whiteboard so that we can underline things that stand out to us, talk about what it means, annotate it, that kind of stuff. Then we'll go over the implications and the effectiveness of using questioning, simile, imagery, and we'll also connect it with our summer reading, A Raisin in the Sun. And then their ticket out of class will be to read the poem Dreams by Langston Hughes and answer the following question in their interactive journal. What is the central message of the poem, and how do the images reveal this message? And we'll actually listen to Langston Hughes himself read Dreams at the beginning.
Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all of your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. And that is what poetry makes.
And then we will zoom out, and that'll be our big picture, and honestly that'll be the whole class period. If they have any extra time, then they'll work on their homework. We usually have daily vocabulary or grammar or other types of homework that they're working on kind of on a weekly basis. So I hope this presentation helped you to see how you can use Prezi quickly to get ready for your lessons for the day. If you have any questions or comments, please visit us at secondarysolutionsblog.com. Thanks!